Indra's contempt for the smallest of sages set in motion a vow that no god could undo, and only Kashyapa's mediation shaped what would be born. Adi Parva, Book 1, Chapter 27. Garuda had set down the broken branch on a remote mountain, shattering its peaks, and after devouring the elephant and the tortoise, he rose toward the heavens. The Devas armed themselves around the Amrita, warned by Brihaspati that Kashyapa's great son was coming.
Now, Shaunaka asks the Suta to explain how this conflict began, and what Indra did to provoke it.
Shaunaka asked, "What was the offense of great Indra, and what was his negligence, O son of the Suta? How was Garuda born from the austerities of the Valakhilyas, that host of tiny thumb-sized sages? And how did the king of birds come to be the son of the twice-born Kashyapa? How did he become unassailable by all beings and invincible? How does he move as he wills and wield whatever might he wills, dwelling in the sky? I wish to hear all of this, if it is recorded in the Puranas." Suta replied, "What you ask is indeed the subject of the Puranas. Hear all of it from me as I speak, briefly, O twice-born one. When Kashyapa the Prajapati was performing a yajna out of longing for a son, sages, gods, and Gandharvas all lent him their assistance. Shakra was assigned by Kashyapa to fetch firewood, and so were the Valakhilya sages and whatever other groups of deities had come. Shakra lifted a load of firewood equal to his own great might, a mountain of timber, and carried it with little effort, as befitted so powerful a lord. Then on the path he saw some tiny sages, each no larger than a thumb joint, all together carrying a single palasha leaf stalk. They seemed nearly swallowed by the water pooled in a cow's hoof print, those wealth of austerity ascetics, eating nothing, their strength feeble, struggling with great difficulty. Drunk with his own power and overcome with arrogance, Purandara laughed at them all, quickly stepped over them, and went on his way, showing them contempt. Seized by fury and burning with intense anger, those sages undertook a mighty act that would strike terror into Shakra. The masters of great tapas offered oblations into the sacred fire according to proper rite, with high and low mantras. And hear now what wish they poured into that offering. "Let another Indra arise," they declared, firm in their vow, one whose might is directed by his own will, who moves as he pleases, and who fills the king of the gods with dread, as lord over all the devas. By the fruit of our austerities, let there arise today a fearsome being, 100 times greater than Indra in heroism and might, swift as thought." Learning of this, the king of the gods, Shatakratu, was deeply troubled. He went to seek refuge with Kashyapa, who was unwavering in his sacred observances. Hearing the plea of the king of the gods, Kashyapa the Prajapati approached the Valakhilyas and asked about the outcome of their rite. Those ever-truthful sages replied that it would come to pass. Then Kashyapa spoke to them with words of conciliation. "This Indra has been set over the 3 worlds by Brahma's own decree," he said. "And you too, O store of austerities, have been striving for Indra's benefit. You must not render Brahma's word false, and it is not my intention to make your resolve come to nothing. Let this one be so. He shall exercise sovereignty over all winged creatures, a hero of will-directed might, a sky-dweller honored by all the worlds." The Valakhilya sages, rich in tapas, honored Kashyapa the Prajapati as the foremost among sages, and replied, "O Prajapati, this undertaking of ours was indeed for Indra's benefit, and this undertaking of yours is also what you have desired, offspring. Therefore, accept this act as bearing its fruit, and arrange matters here as you see best for the greater good." At that very time, the auspicious Vinata, daughter of Daksha, celebrated for her glory and longing for a son, had performed austerities, devoted to her vow, and bathed in the Pumsavana with purity, and she came to her husband. Kashyapa then spoke to her. O goddess, this undertaking shall bear fruit, and your wish shall be fulfilled. You will give birth to 2 heroic sons, who will be lords of the 3 worlds, born of the austerities of the Valakhilyas, and of my own resolve. Your 2 sons shall be greatly fortunate and honored by the worlds. Carry this womb with great care. It is of exceedingly great destiny. One of them shall exercise sovereignty over all winged creatures, a hero honored by all the worlds, of will-directed might, a sky dweller. Then Kashyapa the Prajapati addressed Shatakratu directly. These 2 birds shall be your companions and brothers. No harm shall come to you from them, O Purandara. Let your anxiety pass. You yourself shall remain Indra. And you must never again treat with contempt those who uphold the words of Brahma. Do not out of pride dishonor them. Their words are like venom, and they are fierce beyond measure in anger. Thus addressed, Indra departed free from worry to Swarga. Vinata too, her purpose now fulfilled, was filled with joy. She gave birth to 2 sons, Aruna and Garuda. Aruna came into the world incomplete and became the forerunner who goes before Aditya, the sun, and Garuda was consecrated as lord over all winged creatures. Now hear of his great deed, O descendant of Bhrigu. The chapter establishes that Garuda's lordship over all winged creatures and his very birth arose from the wrath of the Valakhilyas and Kashyapa's careful mediation of their vow against Indra. In the next chapter, Garuda descends on the celestials guarding the Amrita, slays Bhuvana, overwhelms the assembled hosts with a storm of dust, and then faces a ring of fire blocking his path to the Soma. The journey continues in the next chapter.